All right, we will go ahead and get started with our post-race press conference here at Michigan. We now welcome Matt Kenseth, driver of the number 20 Dollar General Toyota, winner of today's Pure Michigan 400. First and foremost, congratulations on your win here today. You now have 3 wins this season. Tell us about the final restart and the final laps of today's race.
Thanks. Yeah, they, we had obviously a dominant car since we got here. It showed up in qualifying, and Jason had tuned up today where the handling was great, and we had enough speed to stay up there. So, you never like to see late race restarts, especially at Daytona and Talladega, and this was almost a cross between that from the restart zone until the middle of 1 and 2. A lot of the guys would draft pretty good, and I had a hard time getting that to happen. The Chevys could lock up pretty good, so I was pretty worried about that last one, and Denny gave me a nice push there, and our TRD engine ran really good and was able to stay alongside of Kevin at least and clear him off of turn 2, so that was obviously a big key for us.
Also joining us at the head table this afternoon is crew chief Jason Ratcliff. Jason, top 10 finishes for the team, including recent wins at Pocono and now here. Tell us about the team's consistency.
Well, it's these are days that everyone in this sport dreams about. Days like this, obviously, they don't happen very often. So we'll definitely cherish this one forever. Just perfect execution all weekend. I think. It starts at the shop, obviously, great race cars, and trying to attack this new aero package, and everyone at JGR has done that. They've attacked it really hard, and it shows. But just execution from the time we unloaded, I would say Friday was a huge part of our weekend, getting that number 1 pit stall and starting on the front row and keeping that track position all day. Obviously, was key. A few. Aggressive and fun to watch restarts by Matt, and the pit crew did a fantastic job as usual. So just perfect execution across the board, to show up with a fast car and lead the most laps and bring it to victory lane here at the end of the day.
Team owner Joe Gibbs is also with us celebrating this victory today. Joe, 5 wins in the last 6 races. Tell us where the organization is at this point in the season and your thoughts on the win here today.
Well, the first thing is it's a team sport all the way, and we got great partners. Thanks to Toyota, all the hard work they've done over the last year and a half. I think we were behind, as I've said, and our whole team, everybody back at the shop. I hate it that those guys can't enjoy Winner's Circle and all those different departments back there that work so hard. And then, of course, in this sport, you got to have a great sponsor, and we got one, Dollar General. I want to say a big thanks to Todd Vassos and Rick Dreiling, everybody there at Dollar General. But it is total team effort, and like Jason said, you really need to enjoy it because, about 10 races back, we were struggling trying to get there. And you just hope now that we'll be able to hold some momentum here and head into the chase, but it's very hard to do. And in pro sports, it can come and go in a week. So I think it keeps you, at least I think for all of us, it keeps us excited and after it and working hard. I know we got great people. That's what I'm really proud of. We got great people. We got, Lord's bless us with a great group of people that work extremely hard and really care about what they're doing.
Okay, we'll open up for questions. We'll start up front with Mike.
Mike Hembry, USA Today. Matt obviously dominated most of the day. The 3 car was the only one to really give you a challenge. Were you surprised at how well he hung with you there for a while?
Yeah, it was a little bit. He had a really good restart. He was really aggressive. We got it, touched a little bit even off of 4, and I was a little frustrated. Not at him, he didn't do anything wrong, but I was a little frustrated because I was like, man, I need to get away. We got such a good car. I don't want to be in any kind of situation to ruin our day. And everybody's they're trying to get that lead, and hopefully they trying to get away. So anyway, then I finally cleared him. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to get away. And I looked back, and we came off of 4, and I thought I had a good 3 and 4 the next lap, and he got a pretty good draft down inside and drove back to the bottom again, getting in 3, and it was hard to, or into 1, I'm sorry, and it was hard to get back around him. So it took 5 or 6 laps, and then we could really go. So I didn't, they gave me such a good car this weekend. We didn't really have a weak point, but if we had one that wasn't quite as strong, it was just some first, 5 or 6 corners. It would just be, wouldn't quite take off, and it was a challenge to get away from him, and you needed to get that 5 or 6 car lengths to kind of get him in worse air. So it would take about 4 or 5 laps, and that thing would come in, and then it was unbelievable fast.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Bob. Go ahead.
Bob Parker, CSPN. Matt, I mean, it appeared passing was extremely difficult. So on those restarts, is there, I want to say, more pressure on you, but is there more stress? Like, man, if I lose the lead, I lose this race.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's hard to say what would happen. You know, I felt like I never had to restart anywhere. Third was the worst when we came off of 2 of the lead, the way that restart went. So I was always kind of in the front, you know, or I was always in the front on restarts. But, you know, got in a lot of different traffic situations throughout the strategy, even though they all ended up going through green flag cycles. I raced around a lot of cars, and I felt like we had a really strong car. But, you know, it's hard to say, you know, how far you could have fell back or at all and still won. It's hard to say. I definitely felt like we had, you know, the fastest car by a fair margin for today's day and age. You know, so I was glad I didn't mess that up. But the restarts, what made it the hardest is from the restart zone to the middle of 1 and 2, it was almost like a super speedway restart. You know, so you could lock together and push, and the inside guys would be real aggressive and start locking together and going. And if you got a big run and the guy behind you wasn't on you, pushing you and drafting it all through the gears, you know, they could get by us. So I almost had 2 of them clear me one time, and thankfully we had such a good car I was able to drive into 3 real fast around the top and get back around them. But you felt a little helpless on those restarts. You know, it was tough to get away for a little bit.
Okay, we'll take 2 questions down here and then go up to the press box.
I should get an award for the longest answer ever, huh, Bob? I should get an award for the longest answer ever right there.
That's a good one. Matt, congratulations.
All you're going to get is a yes or a no.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, let me make it a non-yes and no. Just a review of the package. It sounds like there was some increased drafting at times, but not what they were looking for, what you were looking for.
Well, I got to be honest. I didn't see much of the race, which was totally fine with me. We were up front, you know, the whole time, and that's what you want, right? I mean, you want it. You want everybody in your mirror. So I haven't got to see much of the race, to be 100% honest with you. Obviously, I had to, you know, pass some lap cars. I passed some cars for position off of pit strategy, you know, things like that. So certainly, you know, was able to kind of mix it up and see what it was like a little bit. But I really didn't get to see, you know, much of the racing except for what I saw with my windshield.
Could I get an answer from Jason or Coach Gibbs maybe on that then? What'd you guys?
Yeah, the drafting. There was some racing going on for sure. It was fun to watch at times. You know, cars could really at the end of the straightaway gain on others. You know, 2 or 3 car lengths. But they just couldn't do much once they got there and they got down on the corner. They were kind of helpless. But on the restarts, it got exciting. I'm sure y'all saw it back there. About, you know, I'd say 8th place back. It got. It was fun to watch. I'm glad we were, like Matt said, I'm glad he was watching out of the rearview mirror.
Okay, do we have a question over here to the right, and then we'll go to the press box.
Jeffrey Miller, Athlon Sports. Question for Jason. Jason, what kind of effort can you describe did your team, right over here, what kind of effort did your team put into this high drag package, just overall? And do you have any concern that so much emphasis, if that's a problem, in the 2 races for the high drag package will hurt you guys down the stretch at all?
No, it definitely won't hurt us. Our guys put emphasis on every race. You know, they, you know, for us, this race was different than it might have been for someone else, but for us, it's another win. You know, going into that first 3 race segment in the chase, so it's a bonus point or points, and so you put as much effort as you can. You know, each and every week. So they put as much effort into this week as they do any other week. I feel like we've had enough races with. What I'm going to call the 2015 Aero package, the one we started the season with. We don't by any means have it all figured out, but I think we're in pretty good shape on that. So I don't think it'll put us behind at all.
Okay, we'll go up to the press box for a question.
Wolfgang Munzer from Germany, Ranchburg Press Agency. A follow-up question also for Jason Ratcliff. You think with this aero package we see in Michigan, it's maybe a little bit easier to make this car faster or successful than with the package you had before?
No, I mean, it's not. If we would have, you know, the first race here a few weeks ago, you show up and you focus on downforce. And you had to show up at this race and focus on downforce as well. But at the same time, you know, with the bigger spoiler and the tail extension, you have to be more mindful of drag as well, because, you know, the wide open throttle time is so much more than it was, you know, when we were here a few weeks ago because of the drag, that you have to be mindful of it. So it's a huge compromise. But it's unique. I mean, it's no different than, when we go to Talladega or we go to Daytona, you kind of have to shift your focus on that as well. So it's definitely not easier, not from my standpoint, because you have to find that balance, whereas with the other package, you focus on downforce and, you let your engine builder, TRD, bring in all the horsepower they can and to pull it through the air.
Any other questions from the press box? Okay, back down to the media center. We'll go to Mike and then Bob. Get a mic right behind you.
Joe, obviously you've won championships and big races, but have you had a period when your entire team is rocking along like you are now?
Yeah, I think several people asked me, and thinking back over the years, I can't remember where we've kind of had a stretch like this over these last 10 weeks or so, starting at Charlotte. And so, you really want to enjoy those, and, they're hard to get. And pro sports, I think that's the reason why we all love it so much. We don't know what's going to happen from week to week, and the thing that amazes me sometimes is the quick turn where you go the other way. And so we just got to keep working hard. I think our guys did on the 2 packages we're going to run this year. They really went after it hard, worked hard on it, and it paid off for us. But I think our focus, now with our cars is Kyle. We need to keep him up in points, and the other 3 cars we need to hopefully stay up where we can put ourselves in a good position when the chase starts.
Okay, we'll take the question from Bob.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Matt, knowing that this package is not going to be used the rest of the year, and unless something changes, it doesn't sound like many of the drivers are very happy with it, and we don't know yet how NASCAR will go, but how much does this win mean in the sense of, yes, you won, but what can you take away from it beyond a trophy and some happiness?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, chase, no chase, points, no points, any of that stuff. I mean, these are all really big races. To win at the Sprint Cup level, to me, is a huge deal. It's something that doesn't happen very often, and you have to enjoy each and every one of them. We just got done going before April or whatever. We went 50 races or something like that without a win. So you better enjoy them all and appreciate them all. We work hard at Joe Gibbs Racing for each and every race because they're all huge events, and we treat them all like that. So whether you use this package again, whether you transfer much again, is really irrelevant to us. We showed up this weekend with the idea of trying to qualify the best we can and race the best we can, and we'll do the same next weekend with the 15 package, and then we'll do the same thing at Darlington with the other one. So every week is a huge week to me.
Final question for Matt, Jason, or Joe. Gentlemen, congratulations. Oh, no, do you have a final one? Final question?
The heat was a concern for drivers coming into this race. I guess TV showed it was 150 degrees in one of the cars. Was it noticeable? What was it like racing out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit hotter than normal. With our package, it probably would have been 140 degrees in the car or something, which isn't exactly cool. So you knew it was going to be a little bit hotter. We prepared for that. Christy here lobbied really hard to get some extra air in the car to keep the drivers cool, so that was a big plus. That helped keep us cool off a little bit, and plus we were ready for it. So I started hydrating a couple of days ago and drinking a lot of Gatorade and try to eat right and get some sleep, and they helped me a little bit with some cockpit stuff. So it really wasn't bad. I mean, yeah, it was hot, but I've been a lot hotter.
Gentlemen, congratulations on your win again. Enjoy this, and we'll see you next week at Bristol. Enjoyed my time with you.